Okay, welcome back, Jebel Ali. In the last tutorial, if you remember, we created our variables. We created one variable, well, I called mine lost item, and that's going to store the item that the person has lost who's using the app. And we also created another variable that contained a list of locations where we might find that item. Okay, so that was the last lesson. So this lesson, we're going to actually program our app to hopefully search for your item and display a location to look in when you click on a special button, and in this case it was the find it button. Okay, so we type the location in here, or sorry, the item we've lost in here, we press the find it button and it will display the location here. Now you need to make sure you know the name of this button, so click on your button and look over here and it should tell you what you called it. I called mine find it button. So it's really important that you know the name of that button so you can code it. Okay, so let's begin. So I'm going over to my blocks and I'm going to click on my find it button, which is just here. And I want it to start searching when I click on the button. So we're going to use when clicked, and we need to make sure it's the right button. So when find it button clicked, whatever is inside here will happen. So basically the first thing it's going to do is going to take what we type in and store it in the variable called, in my case, it's lost item. So down here in variables, so just down here, you need to be looking in variables and you need to choose the set variables here, the set variable. So I'm going to drag that onto here. Notice it's got this link here where you can add the text that you type in. Now the text you type in comes from this location. So that's the text input. So click on it so you know what it's called. And when you do click on it, you'll see over here that I've named mine text input. So that's really important. So on your blocks, you need to go and find the name of the text input. Mine's called text input 1. And what block I need to drag over is a very special one, is this one here, the text input block there. So you see that? See, it says text. It's really important that you look for the block that says text. And that's basically taking the text, and when you join it to your variable, so it's basically saying whatever's typed in will be stored in this variable. And then you can add that to your when clicked block. Okay, so that will store the text typed in into the variable. And now what I want it to do, I want it to make it look like it's thinking. Okay, so I want to display the message or thinking or looking. Okay, so we're going to change this box here, the find it here box. Okay, so in here it's going to display a message. Now remember, you need to know what it's called, so I'm going to click on it again. And it's called the location box on mine. That's what I named it. So I go to my blocks, find by correct, well, it's a label, it's called location box. And then we want the set text block. Now the set text block is just here, okay? Can you just see that? So I'm going to drag that on here. So it's going to set that, the text in that box, to whatever is on the end. Now what we want is just to say looking. So I'm just going to rename that, or type in there looking ... and then I'm going to add that to here. Okay, now you can test that. So I'm going to go onto my app and click on web preview, and I'm going to type something here, but it's not going to work. But I can type in key and then click on find it, and you'll see that it works. It's saying that it's looking. Nothing's happening because I haven't finished the coding. So I'm just going to close the preview and go back. So that's all we've coded at the moment. So what I want it to do, I want it to look for a short amount of time. So I'm going to add a wait block in here. Now the wait block is under here under control, and there's the wait. I mean, you can decide how long you want it to display looking for. I'm just going to change mine for 2 seconds. And next, we're going to display the location along with the name of the item that you are looking for. So we're going to join some text to your variables, okay? And then hopefully join that to a random location from the list, if you remember the list. Okay, so we'll do that. So what I want to do is make sure I find the location I want to display the information. So I'm going back into design and I want it to be displayed here. So I'm clicking on there to find out the name again, and it's called, I named mine location box. So I'm going on to my blocks and I want location box. So I click there and I'm going to drag on the first one here, which is set text, or set the name of your text box. I'm going to put that underneath my weight. And at the moment, there's just a label there. Now we're going to replace that in a minute. So what I want to display is the name of the item lost and the location, and also some text to add to that. So I want a special block called the join, because I'm going to join different things together. So I'm going into text, which is down here. So I'm joining, looking in there, and I want the join. So I'm going to drag the join and put it here, excuse me. So at the moment, it's joining the words hello and world. So if I tested that now, it would just do this. So if I type in here key and click on find it, it looks for 2 seconds and then says hello world. That's because these are displayed here. So I've added just the words hello and world. Leave those there because I want to change the first one to your. Okay, so this is the start of the sentence. And in the second one, I'm going to change it to is. Okay, now what you need to make sure you do here is put a space at the end. Okay, and that should space it out nicely. So now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add my variable between the your and the is. Okay, so the way I do that, I need to go to variables. So we're looking for the lost item, the item that's typed in and stored in the variable. So I'm going to drag that next. Remember, you've got two variables. One's called lost item and one's called location. So the first one I'm going to use is lost item. Now I need to put that in there, but I can't at the moment because I need to add another space. To do that, you just click on here and you drag the item into the middle. Can you see it gives you a space here? And while I'm doing that, I'm going to add another one here, like that. Can you see how that's worked? And then just click on there to remove. Now I'm going to add my variable just there. So that's going to take whatever the person's typed in, the item they've lost, and they're going to join it to the word your and is. Okay, and the last space here, what do you think I'm going to add? If you said the location, you're right. So what it's going to do is choose one of these items randomly. So it needs to use a random choice. To do that, you need to go to list and choose random item. Okay, so I'm going to drag random item. I'm going to just put that there. Now, I'm just going to remove that part because we've got a list already created. So I'm going to remove that just so it says random item. And the list is taken from the variable. And the variable this time is called location. Remember I called that variable location. That matches, if you can see here, that matches the name of the variable here. So I'm going to add that to my join. So really it's joining the word your to the item you've typed in, lost item, to the word is, and to a random choice from this list. And now, when I press play or view, preview, let's see if it works. So I click on here and it will display. So find it now. What have you lost? I've lost my dog. So I click on dog, click on find it. It waits for 2 seconds showing look, and it says dog. There's no space here. If you've got that problem, that's really easy to sort out. So that I need to put a space before is on my code. Can you see where I've got is here? I can just move to the start, press space, and that puts a space. And then when I preview it this time, type in DOG, click on find it, And there you go. Your dog is at your grand's. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. So I'm going to go back to my code and just show you my code at the end. So that is how you code your find it button. So finding a single item. So it inputs the text from here and it stores it into the variable called lost item, which I named earlier. Then it displays the word looking in the location block box, which is just here. And then it joins the word is to a random choice from the list inside your variable called location and displays it in the location box, which is just which is just here. And that's how you code your find it button. Try it and then see if you can code the find them button. It's very much the same, just one tiny change to make it look like it's finding multiple items. Try it and see how you get on.